Hey everybody, it's Tony here again from Kennedy Funeral Home. On today's segment, we're going to talk about pre-planning your funeral. So once again, we're going to talk about pre-planning. What I'm going to do here is really simplify the process quickly. So when you're pre-planning your funeral, the first part, probably the most important part of it, is you can provide your information ahead of time. What I mean by information is when someone passes away in Ontario, you have to register the death, much like you do a birth or a marriage, so you can actually provide this information ahead of time. What the main benefit of that is that your family will not have to look for it, or your executor will not have to look for it, or the person, for instance, who is looking after your funeral arrangements should you pass away. Very, very important. 2, it says, okay, now that I provide you the information, I can choose what I want. That's equally as good. Because you can actually pick the funeral you want. Part of this process is too, I encourage you to actually get a price on it. And the reason I'm saying to get a price on it is just so you're an informed consumer. That's all. Then there's nothing's hidden. You know exactly what it costs. But I encourage you to talk to, a funeral director about that, or a good funeral director about that. Part of this is too, though, now that you've kind of chosen what you want, rather than getting just a price over the phone, I encourage you to actually go in and meet the funeral director as well. Because then you actually get a sense of the person who's going to be taking care of your loved one. Number 3, it says, okay, now that I've done all that, now what? So you have a couple options. 1, you don't have to pay anything, or 2, you can pay. The way the paying works is, let's say you prepare your funeral today and it's $5,000. So there's the money that we have to invest by law. So the money's not in our checking account, which is wonderful because we don't have access to it. So what happens is over time, the cost of the funeral will continue to rise, but so will the investment. So what we hope, the funeral home hopes, is that when you die, that we hope the investment meets up with the new cost of the funeral. But let's say there's not quite enough money in there. So there's a little bit of a shortfall. The beauty of it is it's all guaranteed, so we can't charge you more for the funeral. But let's say for some reason, and this isn't that likely anymore just because I don't know if any of you have money in the bank, interest rates stink, so you're not making a lot of money on investments. But let's say the investment went up a little higher than what the cost of the funeral did. So we actually have to refund that to you. Okay, we can't keep it. So that's another beauty thing about the prepaid funeral. But at the end of the day, you always have to remember what's good for you. Prepaying is only good if you can afford it. So that's the one major thing I want to point out here. It's only good if you can afford it. Okay? But what we've done here, and get my son Connor here, if he can bring me the planning guide here. Over the years, I've kind of developed ways to making any sort of funeral arrangement easier. If someone has died, or if you're pre-planning. And so what I've done here is I've made my own planning guide. You can find these sorts of things anywhere. Like some companies offer it for free, but they make it sound like there's all these decisions to make, which there are some. Like, I'm not going to say there's not. But the beauty about my planning guide is it's actually done in a nutshell. So it's direct to the point. It says, hey, this is what we need. This is what we need to know about you. This is what I need to know what you want. And what it does is it kind of simplifies the process. Makes pre-planning easier. It's completely free. You can take this home, do it at your house. You can leave it on your fridge so you know where it is. You don't have to bring it back. But it's kind of made specifically for our company. And so it's just something we have here. But in a nutshell, again, remember the 3 sections. 1, provide the info, choose what you want, and then you can decide if you don't want to pay or you want to pay. Thank you.